folks, and welcome to this episode of Reel Geeks, where we are plugging a hole in our schedule with our review of Star Wars Episode 9, The Fall of a Franchise. Rise of Skywalker.
Presenting this shit again. Take two.
Oh no, the funny thing is, for me and Crash, it's actually take three.
Oh no.
Because this is now... because we tried to do this last December when our schedule was episode 9 and Cats for the two episodes we were going to do, which was supposed to be the best and worst of what was coming out in the theaters that month. Well, we were half
right. Should I go get a Sharpie and...
So, please, those of you at home, if you enjoy our suffering for your benefit, please don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons, share it with your friends, and maybe stick around to the end of the show where you can maybe buy some things that would support the show, because this is not cheap. So with the early commercial pitch out of the way, let's take a look at a trailer and then get to our thoughts on this movie.
It's an instinct. A feeling. The Force brought us together. We're not alone. Good people will fight if we lead them.
People keep telling me they know me. No one does.
But I do.
Long have I waited, and now you're coming together. Is your undoing.
What are you doing there, 3PO?
Taking one last look, sir, at my friends.
Confronting fear is the destiny of a Jedi. Your destiny. The Force will be with you.
Always.
I'm going to start this review by pulling in Alicia. For those of you who saw our review of The Craft, you'll know what I'm talking about. I hate this movie.
I hate this movie.
Pure and simple. It's
just not good.
It's when the movie has been rolling for like 15 seconds before the first fuck up occurs. That's a problem. Because it of course starts with the famous opening title crawl, and you get the first words of said title crawl, the dead speak, or
The
whatever the hell
galaxy
the
has...
actual line.
It was. The dead speak. The galaxy has heard a mysterious broadcast, a threat of revenge in the sinister voice of the late Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, the galaxy, just not the audience.
Yeah. No. It's classic filmmaking. Tell, never show.
Yeah. Unless you played Fortnite.
At last, the work of generations is complete. The great error is corrected. The day of victory is at hand. The day of revenge. The day of the Sith.
Which, like,
Insert GIF of dancing Kylo Ren.
Yeah. No, it was so ridiculous that when I saw this originally in theaters last year, they actually were playing a coverage like their internal Cineplex like shows. That internal show was talking about and covering the announcement in Fortnite. And that was the only way in the movie you ever got to hear it. It was because the movie theater went out of their way to make sure you did, because the filmmakers did not.
Well, see, because like I only have Landmark where I live. If I want to go to a Cineplex, I have to drive a bit, and I didn't get that. You know, I hear mysterious broadcasts. It's like, so we're stepping into a video game or something. Got it. Because that's, even just reading that initial title crawl, that's what it felt like. All the games that I played for Clone Wars and whatnot when I was, 12 to end of 12? Yeah. Anyway, 12 to end of high school, that, there's video games and all this stuff happens, but then does it ever get mentioned in the TV show or the movie? No. It's just, okay, here's a set of events, we're popping you into it, have at her. That's what this movie felt like, just in the title credits alone.
And at the very least, with those games, you'd have that content there as like bonus, or eventually it would come up. There is no point in this movie when it just gets played in the background, or maybe it should be a signal that's like constantly going. So instead of hearing like Cantina Radio or whatever plays on the radio in Star Trek or Star Wars, it should have been just this constant. Every time you come into a scene, you can hear in the back of your head like, "And I shall come back and rule the galaxy." It'd just be this constant, ever-present thing.
Just in the back of your mind, just niggling a bit. Also, I like how you pulled Avita, absolute accidentally, thanks, Star Trek.
Yeah.
There's our tribute to our love today.
But, also, like the truly hilarious thing with that famous Fortnite clip is that when I saw it in a theater, I went to an advanced screening with a bunch of Helcon people.
Oh.
We did not get the Cineplex pre-show.
Oh.
So it was literally, I went to Cineplex and still didn't get that clip.
Womp womp.
Abrams, and say a happy day one on Star Wars Episode 9. Hip hip? Hey! Hip hip?
That's it, I'm turning back. I know your family's waiting. I know it's an important day. All right, we'll give it a try. I'll set short coordinates. I won't jump far. I'll get you back there in time, pal. Trust me. Our only hope now is to outrun that Imperial garbage scow, though. I'm going to Lightspeed. That's the spirit. You'll be celebrating Life Day before you know it. Stand by. Here's where we say goodbye to our unpleasant friends.
I'm gonna be a slightly more positive voice here, but being a prequels baby, seeing the Mustafar come into view, like my heart dropped. It's like, oh fuck, what are we doing here? Confusion from the trees that were on the planet aside, I guess apparently it was the planet healing. Had to find that out in extra content, but
this
aside,
is Star Wars. Planets have one biome. One biome.
But, seeing Mustafar, that kind of made my heart go. But then also seeing, Adam Driver just friggin' kill it. I mean, in my opinion, when the man is, in combat, he's a thing of beauty to watch, because there's not like any of like the flowiness that was from, the prequels. It's very aggressive, but the way that he physically embodies that, there's just something in that just entrances me. I don't remember if it was just there's the power, the intensity, and there is a bit of a flow to it, but not as sort of gentle, obviously, because he is a Sith. But I don't know, there's just something about his performance, given with what he has to work with, when he's in these moments, is just that at least was a redeeming quality for me at the beginning. And then it all, starts to go to shit.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing. It is he's very abrupt and herky-jerky, as you say, but that's intentional. And like, as usual, there's no single bad lightsaber fight in any of these films, with the exception of the original Obi-Wan versus Vader.
Yeah, but we have deep fakes and edits for that.
And they're very, very good. But it's one of those things of, I feel that especially for this, like, it was a common complaint when the prequels came out that it's like, oh, you've put too much, into the choreography and not enough into the storytelling. And that was kind of true at the time, but it's certainly true here, because brilliant choreography, great set pieces, terrific set pieces. Of course they are. It's J.J. Abrams. But it means nothing. That herky-jerkiness should have played into it. I mean, the guy's supreme leader of the galaxy. He should either be like, that herky-jerkiness should represent his internal struggle, his fighting stance. Yeah.
And he's on a Sith planet as well. So, I mean, the overwhelming, darkness. I mean, he had a glimpse of light in The Last Jedi, and now he's like fully submerged, which, I mean, I'll go back to that later when we talk more about him and the Emperor. But yeah, so I mean, herky-jerky should work that, he's in a high place of power right now, and he's on a Sith planet, so there should definitely be a sort of at least craze starting to go on, a different kind of intensity that makes you thrown off and slightly at least nervous or scared.
Yeah.
But
instead you get nothing. It exists as an excuse to get him to another planet, which exists as an excuse to start the story.
Yeah, because I mean there's a lot of potential for various things in this film, and this is just one of them that was wasted.
Oh yeah, and like, there's not that potential, but there's also, you're bringing in a lot of new things that you don't need at all.
No.
The fact that you're introducing Mustafar on the big screen makes Exegol just completely unnecessary.
And not only that, you've got Mustafar there, and you have a character who idolizes Darth Vader. Why is this not at Vader's palace?
Mm-hmm.
Like, set up we saw it in Rogue One, and we've not seen it since. And this is a character who should have been obsessed. Like, he should have turned Mustafar into his like summer cottage.
Oh yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, there's such a strong connection there, especially because, I mean, Revenge of the Sith wasn't the first time that Anakin had been to Mustafar, if you watched the Clone Wars and whatnot. But, I mean, Anakin had been there so many times, that was where the downfall was, minus the suit, essentially completed. So why wouldn't, Kylo Ren kind of want to soak that in? Not as much as Anakin did, but lava bath. But, it should have, if they were going to introduce this to the movie, then something should have at least been done with it, or at least in extra material. Not like how they use the extra material to explain away how things were done and why in this film. But, if you're going to introduce Mustafar, a place of such significance, do something with it. Don't just use it as a transition. But that's just the first scene.
Well, I mean, just the simple fact that this hundreds of millions of dollars, big budget blockbuster film looks better on the small screen is so weird to me. Like, my TV is a 24-inch flat screen, and this movie looks better on there than it did in the theater, which I should not be saying this.
My problem with it too is the basically Twilight blue filter over Exegol as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing. They don't even get basic color coding in Star Wars right. Blue has always been not only Jedi but directly our heroes. As represented by the lightsabers.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there suddenly a blue over this? It's bad. It's bad. I'm amazed that, I could understand back when JJ made Star Trek Into Darkness and it wasn't good because really he's a Star Wars fan and he was just trying to get a job doing Star Wars. What's his excuse though? Fucking up a Star Wars movie worse than he fucked up Star Trek, because at the very least Star Trek still relied on Space Seed. This is horseshit.
Yeah, but at least for Force Awakens he also had Lawrence Kasdan, who did the originals as well.
Yes Lawrence Kasdan was necessary.
Yeah,
which I mean, so many people from the prequels, children of the people that worked on the originals, you have so many people who know what they're doing and have been doing this for decades. It is literally in their blood. How?
No, let's shutter LucasArts. We don't need them.
Going to be preparing a very succulent dish called Bantha Surprise. It's not only a very hearty, nourishing dish, but it's very economical too. So all those hungry mouths in your household will be going yummy yum on their tummy tum if you just follow along with me as I prepare this popular favorite. Now, today I'm going to be using the tenderest cut of the bantha, the loin. The loin is very tasty and serves four nicely. Of course, if your family has a hearty appetite, I would suggest then that old popular holiday favorite, the bantha rump.
Palpatine is also very extra.
Yes, he is very extra. And bless Ian McDermott.
Yeah.
The performer. Every time he's on screen as Palpatine ever, he is, of course, the only thing that you should ever be watching.
Oh, he has a wonderful presence.
He does.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
even this film is sort of lacking. And it's not him. I think it's the character as written and the direction he got. It's
the lighting for me.
that as well. He went from being like a pantomime villain to an overt bad Saturday morning cartoon villain. There's a level of camp that no longer exists. He's not campy. He's just fucking silly. Prequels Palpatine was campy. That's a campy bitch.
And I think also, like, we do need to be clear about the simple fact that every complaint we have about this movie, and make no mistake, there's a lot of them, has nothing to do with anyone in front of the camera.
Oh God, no! It's like I've heard for the final Twilight film. Wonderful cast, shit movie.
Yeah, you do your best, and that's your script.
Well, let's have some fun with this. And then, paycheck, thank you very much.
The classic John Boyega line, the check is cleared.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you.
And can't say I blame him, because we are definitely revisiting him. God bless him later, because I have words. But going back to Palpatine, it was definitely, I mean, his voice just in general always has been very, when he performs as Palpatine, very unsettling. And, you know, he has such a kind face when he's not, you know, all bleh. That is just, you can trust him, but then, you know, he says certain things or a certain way, and it's like, I don't feel, why is there a chill down my spine? What's going on? And I think definitely how his vocals were mixed in this on Exegol, the way, because I had these headphones in when I was watching the first 20 minutes of the movie that I was able to get through. But it was very enveloping, and it was like, okay, there is nowhere to run. I'm screwed. And when Kylo Ren asked, you know, what could you give me? And you just hear, everything. That was cold. It should have been cut there. Because then
Not only should have been
back to
cut
that
there,
extreme campiness. Because, you know, just the way he said everything, that was spine-chilling. That definitely make me want to cry and run. But then bringing the ships out.
It would have been perfect, yeah.
Yeah, it was you bring it to that level of Saturday morning cartoon campiness of just, oh, okay. That should have been saved for like the last half hour or so, you know, because that just reduces him. It's like, okay, he can't do anything by himself. He has to have all this machinery and people do the work for him.
Yeah. I would have really liked to see a more self-aware Palpatine, where it's just like, and let me just break the dramatic tension and explain in this PowerPoint how we will take over the galaxy. Point 1, we will be launching at 9 a.m. sharp.
In all seriousness, he might as well have done exactly that, because Kylo keeps just letting him talk. And I don't know why.
At least The Incredibles highlighted monologuing and how friggin' ridiculous it is. Nobody apparently learned since, 2004, 2005, so...
Frankly, when Palpatine says everything, if Kylo had run him through with his lightsaber right then and there, I would have stood up in that packed theater and cheered.
It just, you know, it's, what could you give me? Everything. Boom. I already have everything. You know?
Yeah. Or I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
what a fantastic swerve that would be. You go in thinking,
yes!
oh, God, this is going to be pat and trite. And then suddenly it's just, no, he really is so intense that he's not going to fuck around for 3 films, or no, 6 films, letting Palpatine do whatever he wants and being like, ooh, who knows, maybe he'll do something. No, it's just, swoop, done. This is how I deal with these people.
But at the same time, too, we'd be calling it a cheap cameo and a waste.
Yes. Oh, yes, an absolute cheap cameo. Well, in that case, just have his clones keep popping up. Have him become his advisor, but it's just like, that was the first clone. Okay, we've got a new one. He's not as wrecked, but after a couple of scenes, he becomes more decrepit and maybe just, like, collapses and disintegrates, and then another one, Wei-Yun style, comes in.
Or pull Doctor Who, just keep his head in a box, you know? Hey, I need some advice. All right, thanks, bye.
Little jar head, just...
And... like, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, the people who would have said that it was just a cheap cameo, their opinions mean nothing because this movie is their fault, number one.
All right, I'll just leave them by.
But number 2, maybe it was a cheap cameo, but the end result would have been a much better villain. Because I could have finally actually taken Kylo seriously.
Yeah, because, I mean, this film should have been... you know, Last Jedi, okay, gotten rid of Snoke, I am now Supreme Leader. This should have been him at the mad height of power. Okay, Resistance, time to take him down, and that'll be it. Within reason, you know, still have to take down the supporters later on. But, you know, they didn't need the Emperor. I mean, they hadn't even entwined him to at least hint that, you know, he was coming back. Like you said, he was just kind of dropped in, okay, so here's the new problem, deal with it. You know, this movie should have been taking care of Kylo at the mad height of his power. I don't think there should have been any redemption, but besides the point, you know, this should have been, all right, we had the chance before and we blew it. Let's not do it again. Kylo needs to go. But no, instead, you know, he's got to be a puppet for somebody else.
Next up is, like, as we touched on a little bit, fuck the whole lightspeed skipping thing. That was basically somebody in the visual effects department got drunk.
His name is...
See,
like, it's just that simple.
I don't mind the quick jump to light speed because, I mean, Cassian did that in Rogue One, and even just, you know, in Rogue One, K2SO said, you know, I haven't completed the calculations, and Cassian says, I'll make them for you, and does it. So clearly, you know, usually it's a computer that takes care of it. So you have to be super friggin' smart to be able to, you know, do the whole jump thing. Because like Han said in A New Hope, in the very first Star Wars movie, that, you know, light speed jumping isn't just like dusting crops. You know, you have to be very careful. Otherwise, you could appear in the middle of a planet or heading straight into a star. Doesn't matter. So I don't have a problem with, you know, okay, Poe's smart enough to make these calculations very fast, but the way that it was done, you know, we're swerving rocks, we're swerving buildings, you know, we're going straight through a creature. Yeah, it was a little over the top, and just for the extended period that it was, you know, I don't have a problem showing off, you know, how good of a pilot he is, but this was just too much and a bit too forceful.
Yeah.
It would have been hilarious if there was just 1 or 2 seconds after every shot, or like after the chase, it just goes back and it's just every single one of those planets they jump to now has this incredible like miles long crater where they just flew through shit at light speed and it obliterated entire cities.
It's just a Superman sort of thing, and people are left going, what the fuck?
Yeah, that Cloud City is falling into Bespin because it just got fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, and like there's also just the simple fact that most of the previous times that we've seen a pilot do anything even close to this in Star Wars, they did it once.
Yeah.
And I was willing to accept it. And what?
and with the Force. There is an excuse to being able to do this, and it's not brought up. It's called the fucking Force. And if you had just said, oh, turns out maybe one of these guys does have the Force, it could even be in a little throwaway joke. That could have, like, waved it away. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
no,
that's been speculated for years with Han. Yeah. You know, that maybe he's not entirely like Luke or Leia, but, you know, just a touch Force sensitive in his own way. You know, I can accept that for Poe. I mean, in the comics and whatnot, it is shown that Poe grew up, you know, there was a Force tree that was grown from, you know, a part of the tree that came from the Jedi Temple. He grew up with that in his backyard. So I could believe, you know, that sort of influenced him slightly so that it made him an even better pilot than just with the skills that he had from his mom.
Yeah.
But
like,
this was just over the top.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Under no circumstance should anyone be a better pilot than Anakin Skywalker, because that's kind of a defining trait of him.
Yeah.
Anakin is the best pilot in the galaxy ever. Why? Because he's the greatest Force user ever. Okay. So everyone is just slightly less than him. Poe should be good, absolutely. But he shouldn't be better than Anakin. That's all.
I still believe, you know, Anakin would be crazy enough of a bastard to try it. And
no, he'd do it. He'd totally do it.
Hold on, Snips. Wait, what the fuck are we doing?
And Obi-Wan would just be going, you did what?
Where's your pet?
And he just aged like 10 more years.
Where's Master Skywalker? And Obi-Wan's there just like...
He has a constant migraine, Obi-Wan does, the poor man. That's why he aged so much when he was on Tatooine.
Oh, no doubt.
But no, I understand the whole, you know, okay, Falcon's on fire. Rey, you should have been there. Again, otherwise you could have done that. Other than Rey, either Poe seemed to do fine piloting them out of there himself. Yeah. Really, it was just needing an extra gun.
No, that sloppy, bad, unaware, and unrespective to the rest of the universe. And we have spent 45 minutes talking about the first 5 minutes of this movie, just to get an idea of how bad it is fundamentally in every single way. Every single scene could become a half-hour-long discussion of like it's like a Russian nesting doll of crap and disappointment.
Attention, all viewers. Due to suspected rebel activity on the Kazook planet, the Empire has declared martial law. A blockade has been set up around the planet. No ships will be permitted to land or take off until further notice.
And I mean, let's be honest. Taking into account what Carrie Fisher was most known for, like post Star Wars and pre this movie, she would have taken one look at this script, smacked the writer upside the head, and just been like, "Give me this."
That's probably why it sucked so bad. She didn't have her pass on it. She was probably the last pass on any Star Wars script. As being like, no, I know what I'm doing. Fuck off. It's like how Ian McKellen did a pass on the Lord of the Rings scripts because he was just like, no, you're not a nerd. And then Christopher Lee was like, no, you didn't know him. And so they both gave these like passes on the script, being like, no, wrong.
Like, no, so you don't know what it sounds like when a man dies.
Not like this, like this. Christopher, how do you know that? No, you don't. You're not allowed to ask that. The government says you're not allowed to ask that.
And then, of course, Ray has conveniently just seen the Sith Wayfinder in one of Luke's journals, and we have the big resistance meeting where it's basically, hey, if you want to talk, tell, don't show. That's pretty much the entire dialogue in this meeting segment.
Yeah, speaking of hobbits.
Yeah. Like, what's his name? Dominic Monaghan is just there because A, he won a bet, and B, it's we need to explain major plot points in the laziest way possible. Dominic, we got some lines for you.
So we were like just one conversation away from this being Hurley, I feel. Like the camera would just cut and it's like Hurley in maybe Porkin's old outfit, standing there being like, "Oh, it might have been the Sith." Oh. Yeah. I would have preferred that to Dominic Monaghan being Carl Sagan of space for out of nowhere. Yeah. I know everything. Am I going to come with you? No. Are you going to tell us anything useful? No. I'm going to tell you everything that you already know 30 seconds after you know it.
Also, when Ray was running off to get that notebook, I had to have headphones on and subtitles on to see, Beaumont speaking out of frame. There were always whispers of his hunger to cheat death. Hold up. I never caught that. Yeah.
Why is that line whispered?
It's not even whispered. It's faintly heard and, said off frame. And it's like, this would have been vital information, to hear or to cut back to. Not, have your headphones on, subtitles on, turned up all the way. It's like, oh, shit, really? I mean, I knew that in the old EU, but that's Legends now.
Like, I wonder if they're going to go back to Force Awakens and Last Jedi and start screwing with them the way George did. And they're going to start putting that stuff in it. It's the only way to make this film work, is if they retroactively lay all those clues in and actually have people whisper that bullshit.
That would at least work.
Something. It's
something. And
I love Adam Driver, don't get me wrong, but John Boyega got shoved aside because fans saw the Kylo Ren mask and thought, oh, hell yeah, another strong masked badass figure, and then, took the mask off and all the, fan girls and other, others were like, oh, pretty boy!
And yet they weren't buying the Kylo merchandise. And Disney was pushing Kylo as hard as possible, yet still did not make him the main villain.
No, they didn't.
Because they wanted to sell his merchandise. Because when Force Awakens came out, they just assumed that Kylo was going to sell like crazy, and he did not.
Well, not when you got Snoke there, going like, oh, holy shit, this big mysterious guy that we've never seen before. No, he doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, no, nobody cares about Darth placeholder.
Like, before Andy Serkis, you get sold as being, the super top villain in a Star Wars trilogy, and then they kill you off halfway through and just have your body piled in a vat.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with them killing him off. It was definitely a holy shit. But then, making him literally a puppet, that was so wasted. It's I don't care.
You don't do Andy Serkis dirty like that.
No! I mean, so much of the cast being done dirty like that. John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Domhnall Gleeson, Kelly Amory Tran.
Yeah. And I mean, even the lead of this trilogy, Daisy Ridley, who got Natalie Portman so hard.
I like the idea that she got Natalie Portman so hard, and in completely different canon, Natalie Portman is now kind of like the industry is making up for it by bringing her back into Thor and being like, you got Natalie Portman twice, Natalie Portman. So you know what? Fuck it. Now you're Thor.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And then the exchange, the thing with Rey and that giant serpent that just conveniently showed up.
Yeah.
Where Rey just like it's a good character moment for Rey that also demonstrates how much the Star Wars fandom was not paying attention to Star Wars. Because when we see Rey heal this serpent thing, people were like, "Oh no, that's not a Star Wars power. You can't do that." The Mandalorian did it 2 days before the movie opened.
Literally.
Yeah, and that was planned.
Yeah.
They intentionally did that.
That absolutely had to be.
Oh yeah, it definitely was, because it's easier to accept a little green Yoda puppet can do it rather than a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the simple fact that, let's be honest, if you're a woman and your name is not Carrie Fisher, don't be a lead in a Star Wars movie, notwithstanding.
Oh, hold up. No, there were problems in The Last Jedi when freaking Leia, brought herself back to the ship and survived in space. Just don't be a woman in Star Wars, apparently. Don't be a woman in Star Wars. Don't be a person of color in Star Wars,
Yeah. Just maybe Star Wars was a bad idea.
I have made the connection. You may speak now if you wish.
Mala, it's so good to see you. Happy Life Day.
She says it may be a happy life day for you, but personally, she's seen happier ones.
I don't want to type the channels. So could you do me a favor and send either Chewbacca or Han Solo to the screen, please?
She says that she would like to grant your request, but is quite unable to do so.
You mean they haven't arrived yet?
She says there has been no contact.
Yes, I think I understand her message. That Imperial Patrol must be giving them more trouble than we bargained for. Mala, are you alone?
If you would permit me. No, she says she is not alone. She's with a friend.
So, yeah.
Just the simple fact then that when they find the dagger that has the map to the exact spot.
Goodies! Bullshit!
Horrible things have been done with this. Yeah, and so horrible things have also been done with that lightsaber that you're holding, but we won't talk about that.
It's like... I remember seeing this one meme that's like, Rey, you're holding the Child Killer 3000 in your other hand.
But yeah, let's just, I can understand the sentimental value. This knife killed my parents.
Oh my god. What if, if lightsabers and kyber crystals in the lightsabers are attuned and have a personality, what if every time Anakin's lightsaber got near a child, it tried to kill it?
Or just every time it ignited, just, rather than blood, it's just...
Okay,
it's just like, I got, it's a youngling. Excuse me for a moment.
That lightsaber should have been going like haywire then in that case at the festival when Rey saw all the kids.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, all those kids at the puppet show, but like that scene I was talking about earlier with that kid who asks Rey what her family name is.
all I can see now is the thing flipping around like Yondu's arrow. Just
as much as I said we were going to, in terms of the continuity problem, we're going to skip ahead to the final order. And yeah, but I just remembered what one last thing on that desert planet that I'm sorry, this needs to be discussed. Chewie.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, we absolutely do. What was the runtime you gave me yesterday?
Yeah. Wasn't it like a minute and 30 seconds?
Check this out. Check this out. Now, when we tried to record this last week, I brought up how in Star Trek Into Darkness, they kill off Captain Kirk and completely lose their confidence about 12 minutes of screen time later, and
he's dead.
Brought him back.
Is dead. He is dead.
Yeah. He's dead.
This movie.
Jim's dead.
And
Jim's dead.
Jim.
You're dead, Jim.
But so when I was rewatching the film last night on lower quality because I just didn't care and just wanted the quick reminder.
Bless you.
And quick side note: if you thought Carrie Fisher visually was bad in this movie before, watch it on a lower bandwidth because things get exposed. But when I got to the scene where the transport that Chewie is on again explodes, and all of our heroes believe that Chewie is dead. I remembered that conversation. I remember mentioning Into Darkness, so I turned on the timer on my stopwatch to time how much screen time. 1 minute and 48.3 seconds before they completely undo this dramatic moment for the audience. The audience finds out that Chewie is not dead probably 10 minutes, give or take, of screen time before our heroes do.
And it's not that our heroes are spending those 10 minutes of screen time having like a wake and discussing all their great memories of Chewie. They
and
kind
getting
of go, Chewie! Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Pretty, they do mourn him a bit while they're moving on to the next part of their journey because they have to. So it's like,
I understand you have to keep the story going, but considering how long it's even taking just to set up the final conflict, like, there's no point.
Yeah.
Oh, even just taking the scene where we find out that Chewie has been captured by the First Order and just moving it to later in the movie, at the very least would do something to fix that problem.
Oh, and speaking of, while the film is wasting time doing this chase instead of actually getting to a plot or doing anything.
For the first hour or two.
Yeah. Why are we not on familiar planets? We're on a desert planet. Why is that not Tatooine?
Or Jakku or something.
Yeah. Why are we not going back to these places that we know? Why are we not returning? Why haven't we gone to like the moon of Endor for that? Why aren't they training on the moon of Endor? I know they're on Yavin, but they were at Yavin in the last one. Let's have them go to the moon of Endor.
Wait, they were on Yavin?
Yeah, that all that jungle shit, that's Yavin. Yavin 4.
It is?
I know, right? It's not clearly said. You have to go digging for this stuff that all they needed was one establishing shot of those pyramids.
Literally.
Yeah. But that's why all those indoor shots are in like an ancient temple and shit. It's one, because they had a bunch of old Carrie Fisher footage from the previous movie on Yavin. That's why they're back on Yavin. But like, and two, I swear they ran out of a production budget and didn't have any money for other fucking sets.
And also, like, just a simple fact that if you're going to refuse to do new things, that's angering, but it's even worse that you're going to refuse to do new things, but then do new things that mean nothing.
Yeah, when you already have old things. And Star Wars is a property that relies heavily on, you know this already. You've heard of this. We're going to beat it to death. And instead they decided not to, but they kind of did.
Yeah.
You fail at being bad Star Wars. You fail at being bad. Shadows of the Empire is better Star Wars than this.
May I present the option, though? The Christmas special.
Better Star Wars than this, because it has Harvey Korman and B. Arthur.
Well, I am certainly not going to get rich with customers like you. I thought I taught you to drink faster than that. Well, at least you're steady. Oh, come on now, drink up. There's plenty more where that came from. What'll it be?
Hello, Acmina.
Okay, we'll do it your way. Hello. Now we'll do it my way. What'll it be?
Can we talk?
Well, of course we can talk. We are talking. You're not ordering. I'm not pouring. We are not drinking. We are talking. I'm moving this to make room for a drink so that next time I say, what'll it be, and you tell me, I can put it right there.
Doesn't matter. Give me anything. I'll have one of those. I'm sorry I couldn't get back before.
Before what?
Until now. Until tonight. I thought about it a dozen times, but I had to be sure.
Excuse me. I have a customer waiting. I'll be right back.
Come back soon. I'll be waiting.
Instead of all that, and to bring it back, instead of that, what we actually got is a movie where the final act is the Resistance desperately scrambling to stop the launch of a super fleet that we've already watched launch twice.
That's why they should have waited until the very last act to show the final order.
Right? If it's going to be a disappointment, at least then it's a disappointment at that point.
And then also showing everybody coming, to fight the final order. Don't show that in the trailers, because that could have been such a moment of hope. But no, we have to show this really cool shot that we spent a lot of money on.
Yeah.
And also, sorry, I'm supposed to sit there and believe that, Lando bopped around the core worlds saying, hey, come fight these people. No, unless you've got a time machine or something, it ain't happening. So they keep counting out. We only have these many hours before the final fleet launch.
The timeline.
Well, here's the funny thing is, if they had not wasted the light speed skipping pointlessly at the beginning of the film, that would have been a great time. All they say is like, we've rigged the Falcon to broadcast this message. But the moment we land in a system, the First Order is going to know and come down on us. So we're going to have to skip from system to system and just blare this signal out and hope that people get it.
But I mean, in The Last Jedi, they put out a broadcast. Leia put out a broadcast herself calling for people's help.
Yeah. They could
was it a delayed release or something?
They could have just said like, oh, it turns out that like it was a weak signal. No one heard it. No one knew.
Or it was received too late. You know, I mean, they were working with gear that was 30 years old. So, okay, not as up to speed as what, might be in the core systems or whatever. Yeah. But
or they like shouldn't had them ask for it at all. The broadcast should have come from the First Order trying to show off and be like, we've got them cornered and we're going to get rid of them once and for all. And then there'll be peace and safety in the galaxy. And so it's their own hubris that leads to the Luke fight being broadcast.
And that's usually how it goes, though, in Star Wars too. It's their own hubris that brings about the downfall.
Yeah.
Or they break. Orlando and Chewie's mission is to break into a First Order transmitter to broadcast the message. Like again, we're
another
pretty much
road.
just sitting here spitballing things that would have been a million times better than what we actually got. Like even having Lando and Chewie lightspeed skip around would have been better, because then you've set up lightspeed skipping in the first part of the movie and then actually done something with it.
Yeah, and it could have been a great way, like, have your tension constantly building, like, really high to the final conclusion of the end, and instead of having, like, little bits of humor with, like, Kylo being human again, have that be the thing that breaks the tension. You get tension, and then you do, like, an Endor battle sudden jump to them. Now they're in this weird planet, and it's got flying cows, and then they jump to another planet, and it switches scenes, and you have some intense shit, and then it switches back, and they're flying around a planet of, I don't know, purple balloons, and like, that's how you could have had your intense action cut with your comedy, and actually forwarded a plot. No.
I mean, the Final Order do so many ridiculous things. Why not let our heroes at this point?
At this point, you could have just had them teleport. Fuck it.
But final thing to go into before we do ratings and so forth is just, like I said, just general stuff with the characters. And between John Boyega and Kelly Marie Tran, I don't know who got fucked over more.
Oh, don't forget Oscar Isaac being made the stereotypical Latino drug smuggler as well.
Yeah.
I think just the fact that I'm actually going to say that I don't think was quite as bad is in and of itself so very telling.
No, but I mean, even, there was the excitement with, The Force Awakens. We have a black man being such a prominent role being in a prominent role and bringing about this rebellion and hope. And then with Kelly Marie Tran and the Last Jedi, we have someone who is full of hope, but has seen, outside of battle and whatnot, what the First Order can do. And, despite all this bad shit, she's still dedicated to the cause, and there's still hope as long as there's good people and all of that. We have that, and then they get tossed to the side because whiny fanboys and girls and others did not like them and decided that they liked the whiny fanboy in the movie better. And Disney decided to capitalize on that, which I'm not surprised considering how Hollywood goes. Whatever you find more profitable, that's what you're going to go with. But considering how much they meant to, people of color, of minority groups and whatnot, it's a big slap in the face, not just to them, but also, not just the actors, but also these groups. And it was definitely a giant slap in the face for the actors. It's not you got a paying job, you should just shut up. No. There's more to it than that. You give your heart and soul to these performances with not even just the promise of something. Like, it's important to you, but then it's obvious that the people that you're working for do not care. It's like, well, if you don't care, then why should I care in the end?
No, and like with Rose, I wasn't a fan of her in episode 8, but then after the movie came out and seeing the response from like Asian cosplayers and so forth to Rose's character, and especially seeing the footage from the Hollywood premiere where Kelly Marie Tran meets a Rose cosplayer for the first time and breaks down crying on the red carpet, I'm like, I withdraw every bad thing I said. I'm going to shut the fuck up. This is beautiful. I want more of this. Instead, Rose has less time in episode 9 than a dead woman.
And the dead woman doesn't get much time.
Yeah.
Because of a bet and some whiny bitches.
Yeah. And, like, as much as Disney and Lucasfilm claimed that they didn't listen to the fans when they wrote episode 9.
Bullshit.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, but JJ, after... No, Benedict is not playing Khan. We don't trust you at all? And isn't it funny how pretty much every negative thing in this movie is the exact thing that those fanboys were clamoring for? It's one hell of a little coincidence there.
Just a little bit of a coinky dink.
And then, like, even with Rey, a character who was supposed to be the cornerstone of this trilogy, a character who, again, became so important and so relatable to so many fans. The simple fact that I realized that her arc only works if you watch this trilogy backwards. I don't know how you fuck up that badly. And yet, here we are.
Master storyteller J.J. Abrams.
I mean, the wonderful thing for so many of us with Rey is that you didn't have to come from somewhere important. You didn't have to have that family lineage or whatever behind you. You could be no one from nowhere and become someone, you know. And no, she has to be a Palpatine.
Yeah.
I mean, Naboo was so ashamed of Palpatine that, you know, they disowned him. You know, I mean, yeah, okay, she takes on the Skywalker name at the end, but what's wrong with just being Rey?
Chewbacca, we were so relieved to hear you were all right.
All of you are an important part of my life, pal. I'm glad I could be here.
This holiday is yours, but we all share with you the hope that this day brings us closer to freedom and to harmony and to peace. No matter how different we appear, we're all the same in our struggle against the powers of evil and darkness. I hope that this day will always be a day of joy in which we can reconfirm our dedication and our courage, and more than anything else, our love for one another. This is the promise of the Tree of Life. We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony.
I think since we have literally been going for about 2 hours now, and there's still so much stupidity in this that we could still hit. But there is one last thing. Well, okay, two last things actually that to just hit very quickly. Which first and foremost, J.J. Abrams, fuck you for making a big deal about the LGBT characters in this movie, because that was absolutely nothing, and you should be ashamed of yourself for that. And second, the very end. Now, on the one hand, I liked the final shot of Rey looking up at the two suns on Tatooine, because that does bookend with the first shot of Luke looking up at those two suns in A New Hope. Like it bookends.
That was in the
franchise.
first hour of the movie, though.
Well,
yeah,
no,
and that's the thing. That's not a bookend. The bookend would be if we see a ship over Tatooine, like fly away maybe, and then so instead of coming in, it flies away, and we're left with just Tatooine, and then it fades out.
Not even just at the celebration with the hug, they turn around, the end.
Oh yeah. Maybe have them all in a grouping, like at the end of Return of the Jedi, and they actually look happy to be on set with each other. And then it cuts. Yeah, no, that would have been great. We'll never do that.
Yeah, no, as I was just going to say, like, as much as that's a really good final shot, the fact that it takes you until the final shot of this trilogy to finally do something that's pure Star Wars.
But also, why would you go back to Tatooine, to the Lars homestead? I mean, it's where Owen and Beru were brutally slaughtered at the command of Darth Vader, if anybody missed that part.
Hated the fucking place.
And Tatooine is where Leia was enslaved, humiliated, and changed to a giant ass slug. There's not exactly, and not to mention, it's where, Anakin lived his life as an enslaved child. I mean, when I was sitting there when she was burying Anakin's lightsaber in the sand, I was just sitting there going, "Oh my God, Anakin must be screaming just no!"
That would have been awesome. You have Luke and Leia there looking on her like approvingly, and then it slowly fades up with Anakin. It's like, wait, where am I? Where am I? No. I hate this. I hate this film. I hate this.
To which we get to ratings.
Yeah, so I was actually just gonna say, any last things, and then ratings and Crash. Since I think you've already kind of started, you just keep right on going.
Crash, you do your thing.
Right. I give this film Anakin Skywalker, burnt, broken, and bloody, beating his own head into the sands of Mustafar, typing out SOS and screaming, "I hate you! I hate you! I hate you!" That's my rating.
Natasha?
That's just been me the whole review, basically, when I haven't been shutting my mouth. No, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't think I could necessarily bring myself to hate a Star Wars movie, but straight up, it's just not good. It is not a good movie. There are things that I like. There are many things that I do not like, but unless someone says, "Hey, I want to watch this, will you watch it with me?" Other than clips here and there, or trying to comb through for doing my own sort of music video editing, or just wanting to watch clips, like, hold on, was that actually Villanelle? I'm not going to sit all the way through and watch it. So yeah, I think, what was it? I gave it like a 2 or something last time when we tried to record this. So yeah, it's not something I'd watch full on of my free will again. Like I said, there are things that I liked and things that I didn't, but overall it's just a bad movie.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Now, the last time we recorded this, my rating pretty much ended up being a nearly 10-minute rant about how much this movie just legitimately pissed me off. And in the interest of saving time, I'm not going to do that. However, that was actually part of the recording that I have been able to salvage. So there is B-roll coming where you will see it. Now, that said, this is my checklist with film really in general. Did this movie entertain me? No. Did this tell me a good story? No. Did this movie make me laugh? Yes, just not in any of the areas where it was supposed to.
God, like a pitiful laugh.
Oh yeah, like I said, there were times when I was laughing, but it was not in a single one of the funny moments. Did this movie at least have the decency to do something ridiculous that I could truly enjoy on a so bad it's good level? Now, Okay, yes, there was that one moment where Janna shoots down a TIE fighter with an arrow, which I'm sorry, just cracks me up every time. However, that moment comes 2 hours after the movie has already lost me.
And she's not as charming as Ewoks.
No, also true. She just gets dropped in for no reason. But at the end of the day, as much as I did give this movie the last time a 0.5, because the only thing that I can say over the movie Cats that I gave a 0 is the fact that Rise of Skywalker was at least released completed. But instead, as I've said on plenty of other episodes in the past, my film critic heroes are the crew over at what is now doubletoasted.com. And there is one clip from their previous site, spill.com, where they did animated reviews that I have always wanted to use for something, and there is no better way to end my thoughts on this movie than that clip.
Fuck you.
So, with that coming up, and the simple fact that, sweet Jesus, I need a palate cleanser after this. There's going to be one of two possibilities for our next episode, depending on a friend of the show, Alicia Kronheim's schedule. We're either going to be discussing the 2015 web series Haphead that she starred in, or we're going to go back to 1987 with the Brian De Palma classic that I think actually got mentioned a little earlier in the recording, The Untouchables.
No, we mentioned Flash Gordon. Oh yeah, we did mention The Untouchables.
I mentioned The Untouchables.
Yes.
Yeah.
Either way,
and needless to say, Flash Gordon is also on the list. Make no mistake.
We're gonna have some fun.
He'll save every one of us.
He's a mighty Flash.
Until then, of course, you can go to addytheadipose.redbubble.com, which I'm still trying to get fixed up because for some reason the last design that I tried to post, they won't let me. But needless to say, there's tons of cool creative merchandise that is, unlike most of what's out there right now, actually original, and you can buy in support of the show. And Crash, what do you got going on?
You can check me out at patreon.com/hereygo. I am still working on the relaunch of everything, but we will be filming new content this coming week. Ooh. Plus, we still have some old content that is slowly being rolled out. Excitement. Give me money. Give me money.
And Natasha, anything since last week?
The show, I fixed the audio for Mulan. Bless you, Mike. You really helped there with your clap. I was able to sync it. You were my clapperboard for the video, as it were. But no, at this point, it's just more so I appear here sometimes, and I fix volume levels here. So that's about it for right now. I'll get back to the podcast at some point, but this is just this is me right now working on this.
Alrighty, so until next time, Lucasfilm, you already had the tools you needed in studio, and you still didn't use them. Again, fuck you.
But if Skywalker sound wanted like me or something, like, call me.
Let's make sure, no matter what happens, we never have to film this again.
I don't know what you're talking about, Cash. This is fun.
Oh, even if something goes wrong, we're not doing this a fourth time.
But
we'll just patchwork what we have together, and it'll just be like really hard cuts and no continuity, pure chaos. So
but consider this:
frames will be like skewed and like overlap other ones.
But consider this: we get absolutely shit-faced. Late night edition.
I fucking hate chug 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 chug. I fucking hate chug 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 chug.